Beep down. I'm like, yes, because I'm swinging in my hammock, loving my life. I said, yes. They said they want you to compete. I'm like, with who? The academics. I'm not competing. It's a true story. There's nothing to compete about. No for part two. Well, you gotta pay, homie. You know, you gotta pay. Taking a dime from these men are like pulling teeth. And it's really sad because I think the next door neighbor is trying to sell the house. But because of their nipping technique, they've been there for a while with the lockbox. So this is what the crap they do. Anyways, let's go back to them wanting me to compete. I'm like, if you want me to compete, you gotta pay. You just gotta pay because it's legally due. So I blew them off. And then I'm sitting here thinking, God, why me? Why me? It's year 15, and then it hit me hard with what the soldier said. We gave it to the professionals. They didn't want to say we gave it to the United States because of the conflict portion of it. It's really tough. I'm trying to heal, and they want me to get out of my hammock to go compete. But the wolves told me this would happen. I swear to you they did. So, as I'm thinking about Sky, when we think about order, order is an ecosystem. Order is law. Order is divinely or karma energy. I don't think anyone cares about any of those things because they've seen war. And that may be purposely done. So as I'm lying here, I'm like, should I compete? I'm like, no. There's nothing to compete. It goes to the secret societies, end of story. If people don't believe it, they don't believe it. It's the fact that I have children that are a form. Now, if you see the exhibit, it's insane, but they're a form of Indian, even though they are of African heritage or island heritage. These children are very, very unique to the globe. And, at one point in the story, I tried to register them. That is what the issue is with Israel. So I had to between the competing, because now that it's open to the public 15 years later after so much blood poured, the question becomes, how do we advance and push the exhibit? The exhibit has a section on God on it. So I'm talking to my son, and he says, if you put a hooker inside the church, I will go. I'm like, baby, that is one of the most fantastic things you can possibly say. And I thought about that 15 years prior, because intercourse is God in a funny way. It's God. And with the area and COVID and war, so many men are so damn lonely. So damn lonely. And these things are based off a true story, these chronicles. So Hannah's thinking of getting up off her hammock to actually do part two, to actually compete and kick these academics to the curb, because it's my stuff. So, I should rock it. But there's a bigger problem. We are still pending funding, and I know it's coming. But by the time it gets here, I could be dead and they're probably bringing in one of those, little kids. But don't you want to see the real world? It's the real version of the story. Now, at one point in the story, as my son said that, as a mother, I had already thought about something like that for the church. It was a gift, and that was years ago done. The redesign of the church. That is part of the exhibit. Because if the churches are obsolete, they are completely useless. But it's the church that saved Prophet Hannah in the real version. Now, my son is very, very isolated, and he's very aggressive. Not aggressive, but very, distraught, because the area is 98% men. You're like, we're studying the psychology of the future, and women don't get that a lot of men are utilized for hard labor to upkeep cities, and these people are very, very alone. So it's he made a choice to be alone versus be do stuff with boy bond. It's tough. It's extremely tough. So Hannah put everything into the exhibit. Now, before I have KKK back down the street, you have to understand my perspective on it. Intercourse is divine. The story is very modern. Color is now sun because we're educated. We're educated on it. We have 35,000 pages. What do we do with this? We understand what, for those people of faith, that this person is really a chosen. Because Christ, what was Christ? Let's look at that. Or Muhammad even. They represented God. What is God? God is life. What is Hannah? Hannah is life. So it's a big circle. Does Christ have relatives? 100%. Because God is life. And he's not just related to other humans, he's related to everything in the ecosystem or in the environment, natural environment. So I had to kind of get off my hammock because I'm healing. This person died in 2018, 2017, but they may have played with the dates, so we don't know what's what. And even on the other side, they may have played with the dates. That was to curb the fraud. So everything you're doing is possibly for no damn good reason. So as we do this, if you do like the channel, do subscribe, because I won't move further without the revenue. It's a respect thing to so much that I generated. If I don't get the other half, if I don't get any funding, why bother? I'll just go sit in some security job opening up doors. And that will be the end of it. As simple as that. But if you want to see the real, and you want to see how creative this person is, maybe I should compete with the academics. That way I can prove everything was mine. It's very simple. So if you want to live with trying to sell your house and 1,000 people in Bangladesh nipping at you, if you want to live with the new Orthodox Jews, which may be Negroes, if you want to live with the Chinese that are pretending that they're the most superior human on the face of the earth and everybody else is a primate, I get that, China. That's private. Then you go and move along. But if not, you got to support the real. And the problem with the real is a culture that we're not accustomed to is in Canada. And that was a design by the richest because it's part of boy order now. But I'm their mother, and that is where I intercepted them. Because by blocking them and blocking the creativity of the sky, I changed their order in the afterlife, and that's very scary because the same people they injured will be possibly them in the next life. And remember, and this is a repeat, there are some planets out there that don't have humans, so you don't want to go there. That's a fact. So if you want to see something evolution-wise and cool and what Hannah generated, which is 35,000 pages, and its exhibit, and Kanata means wings, you have to subscribe. Another entry.